Hi there, Tutor Bednigo here. Welcome to today's session. Alright, so in this session we shall continue with our series of videos meant to help the grade 12s as they are preparing for their mathematics exams. And we are currently solving 2023 Mathematics Paper 2 internal, and we are now on question 2. So question 2a says, given that matrix K is equal to that matrix over there, find the Roman numeral 1 value of x for which the determinant of matrix K is 2. And then the second one says find the inverse of matrix K. So to answer that question, we need to know the formula for finding the determinant of any matrix. So in that case, we're dealing with matrix K. So we're going to say 2A is equal to, the determinant of matrix K is equal to AD minus BC. Okay, so when you have a matrix A, B, C, D, I just want to show you how the formula for finding the determinant of the matrix is derived. So these values are called the leading diagonal elements, and then these ones are called the trailing diagonal elements. So it is the product of the leading diagonal minus the product of the trailing diagonal, meaning it's A times D minus B times C or C times B. So in this case, it's going to be 8 times x for AD minus B times C, which are these values, minus this times that one there. So another thing is that we already have the determinant of matrix K. It was given in the question as 2. So instead of saying determinant of K there, we're going to replace that with the actual value of the determinant of matrix K. And then AD is simply 8 times x. So we're going to plug in these values into our bracket, which is going to be 8 times x, you close, minus, we open another bracket, and then CB or BC, which is this one here, it's going to be this one times that one there, which is just 1 times 9x. Then we can close that bracket. Okay, so now we simplify. So we're going to say 2 is equal to 8 times x is 8x, minus 1 times 9x is 9x. And then 2 is going to be, when we simplify there, we're going to get negative x. And then we're going to divide both sides by negative 1 to get rid of that negative so that they cancel. Therefore, our value for x is going to be 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. So that is the value of x. And we can confirm if whether our answer is correct or not by using the same formula. Let's assume we don't know the determinant of k. So this is our formula, meaning it's going to be, so what we're going to do now is, the first thing we do is we come up with the original matrix. So while there is x in that matrix, while there is x, we're going to plug in the actual value of x we have found. So there is x, I'll put negative 2, and then 9 times negative 2 there will give me negative 18. So there I'll put negative 18. So this is the original matrix. So now to prove whether the value I found is correct, we're now going to multiply. So I'm going to say 8 times negative 2. Okay, we close, minus, open, 1 times negative 18. 1 times negative 18. Want to confirm whether or not we find the 2. So 8 times negative 2 gives us negative 16. And then we say minus 1 times negative 18 gives us negative 18, which will be k is equal to negative 16. Negative times negative is positive 18. So our k is going to be, when the signs are different, we keep the sign of the bigger number, which is going to be a positive. Then we subtract. 18 minus 16 gives us a 2. So the determinant they gave us in the question was a 2, and we have found a 2, implying that the value of x we have found is correct. So you can actually prove even as you are solving. We can now proceed to the next question. So the next question we are required to find, so this is the original matrix for K. So in the next question, we're asked to find the inverse of matrix K. So the formula for finding the inverse of matrix K is going to be equal to 1 over the determinant of matrix K times the adjoint of matrix Okay, so now how do you find the adjoint of the matrix? The adjoint of the matrix is found by swapping the values or the entries or the elements of the leading diagonal. So where there's 8, I'll put -2. Where there's -2, I'll put 8. Like that. That's the first step. The second step, you simply change the signs of the values of the trailing diagonal. So since this one is positive, I'll change it to negative. Since this one is negative, I'll change it to positive. So this becomes the adjoint of matrix K. So now at this point, we're simply going to say the inverse of matrix K is going to be 1 over, what is the determinant? The determinant was given to us in the original question as 2, okay, multiplied by what is the adjoint of K? This is the adjoint. So I'm going to say -2, 1, positive 18. And then there we're going to have an 8. So you can leave it there, or you can simplify it by multiplying this scalar with all the entries there. So this is going to be, inverse is going to be 1 times -2 is going to be -2 over the determinant there. 1 times 1 there will be 1 over the 2 there. Okay, 1 times 18 is going to be 18 over the 2. So the denominator keeps appearing everywhere else. The top number is 1 multiplying with all the values inside. Okay, 1 times 8 there is going to give us 8 over 2. And then we can go ahead and simplify the simplifiable values. So they are going to simplify -2 divided by 2 give us -1. There we can simplify, so we'll leave it as a fraction. And then 18 divided by 2 there will give us a 9. 8 divided by 2 there will give us a 4. So that then will be the final answer. All right, we now go on to question 2b, which is a question on sets. Okay, so it is very important for us to make sure that we read through the question very carefully. Okay, because once we miss it somewhere, you can actually get a 0 on this question. Okay, so the question says, a survey carried out in a certain district showed that out of 215 teachers, 170 taught mathematics, 100 taught additional mathematics, 41 taught computer studies, 65 taught mathematics and additional mathematics, 30 taught additional mathematics and computer studies, 26 taught computer studies and mathematics, and 21 taught all 3 subjects. So we've read through, and there's some pieces of information we need to capture in this question. Okay, so we are taught to say there are 3 subjects, right? There is mathematics, additional mathematics, and computer studies, implying that we need to have 3 sets. And then the last part of the information, or just from reading, says 21 taught all 3 subjects. So we know to say these 3 sets have a common intersection. So the first question says, illustrate this information in a Venn diagram. Okay, so we're going to change this one to B. So we're going to have 3 sets. 1, 2, and 3. So this will be our Venn diagram. This is our universal. So let's say this is mathematics. This is ADMA, additional mathematics, and this is computer studies. We call it CS. All right. So we can now start plugging in the values. So let's capture some information from there first of all. So we are told to say out of 215, meaning the total is 215. 215 teachers, implying that once we are done with everything we'll be doing, when we add all the values inside the Venn diagram, we should get 215. So I told to say 170 taught mathematics. So math is equal to 170. The set for mathematics, this whole set for mathematics, when we are done plugging in the values, when we add everything, we should get 170. Okay, we come to the second one, 100 taught additional mathematics. So ADMA, the set for additional mathematics, should give us 100. Once we're done plugging in, when we add everything in here, there, and there, we should get 100. Okay, so we can actually tick what we've covered, what we have captured. And then 41 taught computer studies. 41 taught computer studies. So computer studies, we have 41. This set for computer studies should have a total of 41 teachers. Okay, and then we're told to say 65 taught mathematics and additional mathematics. Okay, so that simply means mathematics intersecting with ADMA should give us what? 65. Okay, so M intersection A should give us 65. M intersection ADMA is this one here. When we add everything here, we should get what? 65. That is what that means. And then we're told to say 30 taught ADMA and computer studies. Okay, so ADMA, let me just represent it by an A intersection C S is equal to 30. Okay, 30 taught ADMA and mathematics. Okay, the intersection for ADMA and mathematics is this one. So the total here should give us 30. And then we're told to say 26 taught computer studies and mathematics. Computer studies intersecting with mathematics, this is the intersection there. So the total there should be 26. So mathematics intersecting with computer studies should give us 26. Is it? Yeah, it is. And then we're told to say 21 taught all 3 subjects. So for those who taught all 3 subjects, they will appear right there. So once we plug in that value, you always want to start plugging in the values right from the center. And then you start distributing the values as you go on. So we have captured the information from that question. We can now go ahead and start plugging in the values. All right, so we're told to say the intersection for mathematics and computer studies. This is the intersection for mathematics and computer studies. How many teachers should be here? Let us check. Mathematics intersecting with computer studies should give us 26. But we already have a 21 there. So we're going to say 26 minus 21, giving us a 5 for that remaining segment. So we can tick that one. We have plugged in that information. We come to the next one. Additional mathematics intersecting with computer studies. Additional mathematics intersecting with computer studies. This is the intersection. What should be the total value for this one? It should be 30. We already have 21. So we're going to say 30 minus 21, giving us a 9 to put there. We can go ahead and tick that one. Then mathematics intersecting with ADMA should give us 65. Mathematics intersecting with ADMA, this is the intersection, should give us 65. So we already have a 21 there. We simply subtract 21 from 65 to find the value to put there. So we're going to say 65 minus 21, giving us 44. Okay, we can tick this one there. Now, what about the values to put there, there, and there? Where are we going to find them? So we now go back to the totals of the individual sets. So mathematics, the total for mathematics, this set should give us 170. If we add everything there, we're not getting 170. So what we're going to do here is we add everything and then we take away from 170 to find the value to put in this segment here. So we're going to say 5 plus 21 plus 44 is equal to 70 minus 170 should give us 100. So that's 100. Okay, we come to additional mathematics. What value are we going to put here? We add everything and then we subtract from the total, so we can tick this one. We subtract from the total for the set for additional mathematics. So this set is supposed to give us what? 100. Okay, but currently what do we have there? We're going to say 44 plus 21 plus 9 giving us 74. We have 74. So we subtract 74 from 100 to find the value to put in this segment. Okay, which gives us 26. So we're going to put our 26 in that segment. We come to computer studies, we do the same thing. What should be the total for this entire set? Okay, we can check this one. The total should be 41. What do we have currently? We are going to have 21 plus 9 plus 5. 21 plus 9 plus 5 there, giving us 35. What should be the total? The total should be 41. So we're going to say 41 minus the 35 we found for everything there, which will give us a 6. So the 6 we're going to plug it in there. Now, we are also told to say the total should be 215. So let us add everything and see if we're going to get 215. If we don't get 215, then the difference we're going to find goes outside the sets. It means those teachers did not teach any of these 3 subjects. So that's a value that's going to go outside outside the sets. So another thing we can even confirm this each of these sets. If you want, you can confirm. We have already confirmed, I think, by the addition that we are doing. When you add everything there, it should give you 170. For example, let's add everything in the set for mathematics. 100 plus 44 plus 21 plus 5. What do we get? We get 170. So meaning all the values here are correctly placed in the set for mathematics. Let's test the set for additional mathematics. When we add everything here, we should get 100. So we have 44 plus 26 plus 21 plus 9 gives me 100, meaning all the values there are correctly placed. We come to the set for computer studies. The total should be 41. Let's add everything there. So we have 21 plus 9 plus 5 plus 6, giving us 41. So all the values are correctly placed. Now let us add everything and see if we're going to get 215. If we don't get 215, meaning the remainder goes outside the sets. So we have 100 plus 44 plus 21 plus 5. We're done adding these. We are remaining with these 3. Okay, plus 26 plus 9 plus 6. This gives me 211. Okay, so the total should be 215. So we can simply say 215 minus 211, giving us a 4. So the 4 goes outside the brackets, outside the sets. And usually when you have such a scenario, they'll actually ask you to find those who didn't take any of these 3 subjects. And if we check here, there's this question: how many teachers taught none of the subjects carried out in the survey? So they want you to give them that value. So if you don't have that value, then this should be a wake-up call to say, let me check my work, because they can't ask me this question if they are not expecting any value outside the individual sets. So we are done plugging in the values and we have confirmed that they are correctly placed. We can now go ahead and answer the questions. So the first question says, illustrate this information in a Venn diagram. We have answered that one. This is Roman numeral 1. Roman numeral 2 says, Roman numeral 2 says, how many teachers taught A, none of the subjects carried out in the survey? So those who taught none of the subjects carried out in the survey are these ones that are outside the sets. So we are dealing with teachers. So don't just say 4, you need to say 4 teachers. If you are dealing with PQs, you're going to say 4 PQs. Students, 4 students. Farmers, 4 farmers. Always indicate what it is you're dealing with. We come to B. Okay? What is B saying? Okay, B says, how many teachers taught additional mathematics or computer studies but not mathematics? So here we have been given an option. Okay? We can choose either those that took additional mathematics only, or those who took computer studies only but not mathematics. So in other words, this is more like mathematics complement. They set for mathematics complement, except for those who took mathematics. So you can simply pick these that took additional mathematics or those that took computer studies. So we're going to pick those that took additional mathematics, and we're just going to say 26 teachers. Okay, and then we go to C. So if you want, you can say 6 teachers, that is for computer studies. So if you want, you can even say additional mathematics. We now come to the last one. So the last one says, how many teachers taught 2 subjects only? So for those who taught two subjects only. It's these ones here, these ones there, and those ones there. So we're going to say 44 plus 5 plus 9. What does this give us? 44 plus 5 plus 9. They took two subjects only. So 44 plus 5 plus 9 gives me 58. So it's going to give us 58 teachers. And that will be our final answer. So this is how you answer these two questions. Alright, so that is that. If you found this video beneficial, be sure to give it a like. And if you're not yet following us or subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do that so that you may be able to see more of our content. And if you know anyone who can benefit from this content, be sure to invite them over so that you can be able to learn together. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless you.